Thank you again for coming today. I really appreciate you coming and joining me for this gentle yoga practice. We'll start today's practice by coming into a comfortable reclined position. If that feels like constructive rest for you, that could be a great option. Laying on your back with the knees bent towards the ceiling, then allowing them to kiss in the middle. Your hands could rest on your body or alongside on the floor. And if this does not feel like a comfortable pose for you, you are always welcome to choose any other comfortable resting pose to start our practice. But as you find this most easeful position, we start to relax back. Maybe we close our eyes if that serves you. Sometimes it can be really great to close the eyes and just allow yourself to release visual focus. But sometimes closing the eyes doesn't feel as comfortable. And it might not make you feel at ease. So just know, as always, you can do you in regards to closing your eyes or any other options today. Really allow yourself to wiggle, to settle in. And then begin to sense the surface underneath you. What is supporting you at the feet, back of the legs and glutes. What's supporting you on the back of your trunk or even the back of your head or the back of your arms. Begin by simply noticing where you are in connection with the surfaces that are supporting you. And then take your awareness to the opposite side of the body, to the front and side part of your body, noticing where your body is in space. And then really dialing into that space, noticing the space between your arms and your trunk. Noticing the space between your knees and between your ankles. Maybe even the space between the ears and the shoulders. Can you notice the space in your mouth and around your tongue? And then we'll take that same awareness to detail as we begin to notice the overall state of our thoughts. We don't need to push them down or even resist them today. Sometimes when we do that, when we resist, they persist. So welcome and watch your thoughts. Maybe there's even a nagging thought today. Some stories that won't let go. Try to smile at those stories, at those thoughts, and just know that they are there. And if you do find your mind wandering back again and again, acknowledge it gently, and then celebrate the fact that you noticed the mind wandering and then simply came back. Coming back to the body, noticing the breath, noticing the physical sensations. Noticing the surfaces underneath you and the space all around you. Part of our self-compassion piece today will be whenever we notice our mind not present, smile and celebrate that you noticed, instead of any negative self-talk. Smile and celebrate you noticed, and then simply come back to the focus. As we take this easy breath in and out, we'll talk about change. When I was a child, I remember hating classical music. But as an adult, I've grown to appreciate, love, and respect classical music and all different types of music. As a child, I hated Brussels sprouts. But today, it's one of my favorite appetizers. Just as our taste in music or food shifts throughout our lifetime, so do our minds, our hearts, and even our spirits. So much suffering we allow to arise when we try to label our ever-evolving selves and then try to fit ourselves into that tiny box. We seek confirmation and validation that we are that label, that we fit in that tiny box, and that we are a certain way. But maybe instead, let us embrace our changing selves. Let us transcend the labels, the boxes, the identities. As we breathe our gentle breath here, sense the many selves that you have been in the past. And as you continue to breathe, see if you can welcome in the many selves that you will become. We'll take just another breath or two as we start to offer ourselves a little bit of gratitude that we took time out of our busy day, our busy week, our busy month, to simply come and meet ourselves here in this space now. Get to know this present moment's version of ourselves and our body as we explore and welcome in change. And then when you're ready, begin to wiggle fingers and toes or even take a stretch as we start to add a little bit of movement into our practice. We'll find our way up into a seated crisscross applesauce position. So you're welcome to stay on the floor, or maybe you add a block or your pillow under your hips. Oh, and then let's grab our strap if we're using one today. Something long and skinny. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can use anything from a belt, a tie, a belt for a robe, or even a long sock could work as well. We sit up tall and we're going to put the right foot in front of or on top of the left foot. sitting up tall in our crisscross applesauce. And then let's begin by taking and wrapping the strap around our left knee at about the halfway point. And then taking the straps around the back of our spine till the other side of our hip. So the strap is around the left knee and the strap handles are around the back on the right side. With our next inhale, let's circle that left hand up. Really feel that length and extension through your left side. And then we're going to find a little bit of a twist by grabbing the strap with both hands as we start to twist, or you can bring your left hand to either your left knee or your right knee as we start to twist a little bit using the strap as a fulcrum, little bit of a assist in our twist, I would say. Each inhale allows us to lengthen. Each exhale softens us into the twist. All right, let's exhale to release, coming back through center. Allow the strap to release if you're using a strap, and then let's circle the hands up and overhead. Really feel some length and extension here. Great job. And then as we exhale, we'll bring it down through heart center into a prayer. All right, let's go ahead and switch the crisscross of our legs, bringing that left foot or ankle on top, and then we'll switch sides. So bring the strap around that right knee, feeding the straps around the back. And then with our inhale, we lengthen the right arm up. Our exhale allows us to go into that twist. Feel that slow, steady breath while you're twerking through the torso. But make sure not to push through any tweaks or twinges. Simply noticing where the body's at today. All right, exhale to release, arms circle up. And then let's exhale. We'll bring it back down through our prayer. Great job. All righty, we'll come out of our crisscross applesauce and we'll find a hero's pose of our choice. You can set the strap off to the side if you'd like. You can bring the knees together or the feet together or a little bit apart, and we're going to sit back up on our heels. You could tuck the toes and sit on your heels that way for a little bit of a foot stretch, or you could untuck the toes and let them come down onto the tops of the feet. And as always, you could add a block or your pillow or even a blanket under the knees or under the hips. So we're in our hero's pose wherever we're at. A little bit of a quad stretch, a little bit maybe of a foot stretch if you're taking that foot toes tucked option. And then let's begin to start to stretch through the neck just a little bit. So we'll drop our left ear down towards our left shoulder. And then let's take the right hand first out to the side. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring it down towards our hip or our leg or our ankle or somewhere along this right side. We're just going to tuck that hand in. And then, like I said, left ear is down on the left shoulder or as close to it as you can. And then let's take our left hand, circle it around and just let it rest on the side of the head. Tucking the hand along the bum or somewhere along that right side of the ankle or leg, you may help increase the stretch in the lower part of your shoulder and neck. Now, as always, you're welcome to find stillness, or maybe you start to lift and lower the chin, inviting just some gentle movement into the right side of the neck. Go ahead and pause, and on your next inhale, circle both hands up and overhead. All right, let's take it down to the left side. Right ear comes down to the right shoulder. Left hand grabs somewhere along that left hip. Right hand rests on the left side of the head. And we don't want to pull the head towards the neck here or towards the shoulder. We're just adding the hand as a weight and helps us with the stretch. All right, we'll take one last breath here. Exhale to release through center. Our next inhale brings our hands to a prayer at heart center. We'll interlace the fingers, and then we'll start to take the knuckles under the chin as we allow the chin to rise. We stretch through the front of the neck, lengthening here. And then we're going to let those hands keep rising up, the fingers interlaced. And then once you reach their highest point, go ahead and flip the palms and press them away from you. You can press them up or out or at an angle. And then with an exhale, let's bring them back behind the head, letting the elbows go wide. And then as we exhale, we'll start to find a rounding through the torso as we curl our chin to chest, letting elbows come towards each other, rounding through the spine from the hips all the way through the neck. And then take this opening and closing at your own pace. Inhale, open them wide, lift the gaze. Exhale, curl and round, letting elbows come in towards each other. Great job. Last time. Inhale to let the elbows go wide. Pause there. And then let's start to take those fingers back out away from us, fingers interlaced. And with an exhale, let them float down by the hips, releasing those shoulders. Feel free to take any movement you'd like, and we'll start to come up to a standing position at the top of our mat. We come into our mountain pose, we make sure we're standing firm and strong, feet either together or hip distance apart, or maybe even a little bit wider. We have a nice gentle bend in the knees. We're standing up really tall. And as we inhale, we'll start to flutter the arms up and overhead, taking that nice tall mountain pose. And then let's drop our right hand to our right hip. And as we do, we'll start to hinge over to the right, letting the left hip shoot out towards the left. Great job. Come back through center. Exhale, let's take it to the left side. We'll come back through center. With our next exhale, we're going to cactus the arms, pulling the heart and the gaze forward and up, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Beautiful job. Inhale, circle those arms up. And with an exhale, we're going to flutter the arms down and coming into our first forward fold. Your hands can rest on your legs. They can rest on the ground or maybe on a prop of your choice as you hinge and fold here. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to hinge and fold. We're going to bend the knees deeply, sink the hips, and take a slow roll, coming all the way up to standing. Once we arrive, we'll circle those arms up and overhead, reaching up high. And then let's exhale, bring the arms down to a T. Now we're going to find a little balance challenge here. So as always, you're welcome to bring yourself a little closer to a wall for your balance challenge, or stay right in the middle of the room. We'll start to cross that right arm under the left arm. We'll come into an eagle arm variation, bringing our hands onto our shoulders, maybe walking them back as far as we can. You're always welcome to start to bring the backs of hands towards each other, maybe the fronts of hands towards each other, or maybe once again you grab that strap and wrap it in between the hands. Either way, we're working to keep our spine straight here. Take one more breath. Okay, our exhale releases. Go ahead and take those arms out wide and up and overhead. And then we're going to go through that sun salutation one more time, but just adding a little bit to it. So We'll keep our right hand on our right hand hip, but take that left foot back into a dancer's step. Letting the toe come down, the heel come up. About a foot back from where your other foot is. And then we're going to take our side bend. Inhale back through center. Step it up. Take it to the other side. Lean to the left. Inhale to come back through center. Both arms up. Cactus the arms. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, swan dive into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, arms to a T. And this time the left arm is going to come under the right arm as we take that eagle arm variation of our choice. Still sitting up tall, straight through the spine, a gentle bend in the knees. Feel those shoulder blades pulling apart. Great job. Our next exhale releases into our mountain pose. Great job. All righty. From here, let's go ahead and step the left foot back as we come into a warrior two. I'm going to move this prop out of my way. I'm going to bend deeply into my front knee, sending the toes of the back foot out to the side. And then when I'm ready, starting to open those arms out wide to a T. Take a moment to look over the front hand. Great job. With our next exhale, let's take it into a warrior, reverse warrior. Your back hand can come to your hip or down the back leg, and your front hand starts to reach overhead as you find a lean towards the back of the room. Great job. Inhale to come back through center, warrior two, sink it in. And then let's take it to a side angle. Our front hand can come to our knee or our elbow as we scoop the back hand up overhead. Beautiful job. Our next inhale comes back to a warrior two. Straighten that front leg and then let's step the back foot in. We'll take that on the other side, stepping right foot back. We find our warrior two. Take a moment, really settle in here. Pulling fingertips apart. You're doing a great job. Feel like your thighs are pulling in towards each other, really creating that strong lower body. Your core is engaged. And always remember the transitions are just as important as that final pose. All right, on our inhale, we reverse our warrior. Exhale through warrior two. Sink it into your side angle. Inhale back to warrior two. Straighten that front leg and step in the back. Beautiful job. All right, we're going to build on those two things, those two flows that we've just been working on just a little bit. All right, so we'll come back to the first series. This time, we're going to take that left foot back. You can either keep it just slightly back, or maybe this time even cross it over your other foot. It's really up to you. We'll inhale, circle arms up and overhead. Exhale, side bend to the right. Come back through center. And then instead of continuing with the flow like we have before, from here, we're going to exhale and immediately hinge into our forward fold, keeping that dancer leg of our choice. So again, it's either back about a foot and up on the ball of the foot, or it's crossed over the other one for a little bit more stability challenge. Alrighty, noticing how this feels in your forward fold. We'll then begin to walk our hands, or maybe our prop, over to the left side of our space. And then come through center and walk them over to the right side of your space. Letting your left hip shift over to the left a little bit. All right, exhale through center. Inhale, halfway lift. Step it in. And then come up to rise to tall mountain. Exhale, cactus the arms. Great job. Release the hands by the side, and then we'll take that whole option from the other side. So we'll start with the dancer leg on the left leg, pulling the heel up or crossing it behind. It's up to you. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, rain it down into your forward fold. Noticing on this side how it feels to change up this forward fold. And if you notice a strong sensation in the back of your knees at any point, just remember to bring a gentle bend into them. Alrighty, we're going to start by walking our hands over to the right this time. And then walking our hands or prop over to the left, letting the right hip just skirt out to the right side a little bit. Great job. Come back through center. Inhale, halfway lift, step it in, and then roll it all the way up, tall mountain. And we'll exhale to bring it down through a prayer to our mountain pose. Beautiful job there. Now let's go back to that warrior sequence, and we're going to add a couple poses in. So to start, we're going to bring a block or some other prop that we like to use for our half moon pose to the front of our space. We're going to come into our mountain, and then we'll step that right foot back, opening up into our warrior two. Take a moment to settle in. And it doesn't matter whether it's your right or your left foot. Just remember to switch up the other side when it's that time. All right, so we bend into that front knee. We have our warrior two. We have our prop just about a foot, maybe foot and a half in front of our front leg, so it's there and ready when we're wanted. All right, with our next exhale, we reverse our warrior. Inhale through warrior two. And then we're going to add that side angle. Great job. Inhale back to your warrior two. Now we're going to straighten this front leg. Maybe slide it back a little bit from our prop if we would like to. We're going to start to bend into that knee, letting our hands circle down to whatever prop we've chosen for our half moon pose. When you're ready, maybe start to lift the back toes a little or a lot. They can come just off the ground, or they can come all the way up to hip height. And then start to work on stacking your arms so your wrist and shoulders are in a straight line. Feel free to use any props to help with stability and find a spot on the floor that's not moving. Great job. Now, just as gracefully as you can, bend through that front knee, send it back to your warrior two. Straight front leg, reverse your warrior. Great job. Release it, step it back, mountain pose. And then we'll take that sequence on the other side. Stepping the opposite foot back, opening to your warrior two. Sink it in. You're doing great. Exhale to reverse. Inhale through warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Inhale to reverse, straight the front leg. Step it back if you'd like. We set up for our half moon pose by spiraling the hands towards our prop and lifting that back leg a little or a lot. Stacking wrist and shoulders and finding a bend in our standing knee. You're doing a wonderful job today. Just as gracefully as we can, we bend that front knee, starting to bring the back foot down, warrior two. Straighten that front leg, reverse your warrior one last time. Beautiful additions. Inhale, step it up to mountain pose. All righty. We have done a beautiful job with this. We're going to take one more standing balance sequence before we move to our cool down and restorative time. So for this one, the last sequence, you may want to have a strap nearby, but you're always welcome, of course, not to. All right, we'll start in our mountain pose. We'll inhale, circle arms up and overhead, reach them up really high. And like raindrops, let our fingers twinkle on your forward fold down. Find your fold. Press into your hands, halfway lift. From here, we're going to start to lift the right leg out behind us. We're going to take a standing splits here. So the goal of standing splits, whether you raise your foot just a little off the floor or really high, is to keep your hips in neutral. So not opening the hip like in the half moon pose to the side, but instead both points of your hip point towards the floor. Now you can keep your hands on your prop if you'd like. You could always walk them on the floor over towards your leg, one or both hands. You want to imagine you're lifting your foot and your leg with a string that's attached to your heel. Alrighty, with our next inhale, we're going to start to come up to a standing staff pose. You're more than welcome to touch down or hold any other props on your way up, or try not to use any props on your way up. Bringing your knee in front of you, your leg in front of you. You can keep it bent, you can send it out long, and keep your hands on a prop, or maybe lift one or both hands up in the air here. Great job. And from here, we're going to take a quad stretch. This might be where you want to get that strap involved, wrapping it around your ankle. As we bring the foot behind us and start to draw our heel towards our hip. Standing up very tall here. Nice quad stretch. All right, we're going to come out of this the same way we went in it. Taking your time and being mindful of the transition. So let's take the leg back in front of us, standing staff. With our exhale, we find our hinge. Take the foot behind you, standing splits. One last breath in standing splits. Exhale to release the foot towards the floor. And then go ahead and take this full forward fold, maybe even grabbing opposite elbows as you take a rag doll here and sway a little side to side, shake the head, move the jaw. You can even grab opposite elbows if that feels good for you. Alrighty, start to find a little bit of stillness. Inhale, slow roll all the way up to standing, circling arms up and overhead. With our exhale, let's drop our hands behind our back, taking just one bind here. You can take opposite fingers, opposite wrist, opposite elbows. Simply hold your shirt or bring that strap involved. But we're drawing the knuckles down towards the floor, the heart up. You can keep those hands on the hips or maybe start to move them away just a little bit. Beautiful opener. Okay, let's exhale to release. And then we'll take that whole sequence on the second side. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, raindrops as you forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. We pause at the halfway lift. We shift the weight to the other leg as we begin to find our standing splits. Again, keeping the hip points pointing towards the floor. We lift from the heel. Your hands can stay up high on your prop, come down to the floor, maybe to the leg, wherever you want to be in your standing splits. We'll take just one more breath here. And then as gracefully as we can, we'll come up to standing staff. Beautiful job. Exhale, quad stretch. Bring that heel behind you, maybe strapping the wrap around the ankle. Standing up tall, you're doing great. All right, now's the time to find our reverse flow. So release the strap or the hand from behind you, bringing the leg back in front of you, standing staff. And when you're ready, exhale to your forward fold, standing splits. Last breath here. Exhale to drop that foot to the mat. Inhale, slow roll to standing. Circling arms up and overhead. We exhale to release into our bind behind our back. This time, change up the grip somehow. If you're grabbing opposite fingers, put the opposite thumb on top. If you're grabbing wrist or the strap, find some way to change it up just a little bit. Dropping the knuckles, lifting the heart. You got this. Maybe lifting the hands away from the hips. You're doing a beautiful job. Exhale to release. Well, that was a fantastic standing flow. Hopefully you're feeling your heart rate up a little bit. You're feeling like you've moved the body in all different directions. We're going to take the feet about hip distance or maybe even a little bit wider. You can take it towards the side even if you want. We'll inhale, reach it up tall. And with an exhale, we're going to sink into a deep squat of our choice. So we can take it up high. We can sink it in about halfway. We can even go way down low. Maybe even bring a prop like a block under the hips. But wherever you're at in your squat, you're keeping your straight spine, maybe bringing your hands to a prayer at heart center. Doing great. If you're taking a deep squat somewhere, you're welcome to have the heels down, heels lifted, or even explore between lifting and dropping. All right, we have one last breath here. And then with our exhale, we're going to find our way down to the mat into a seated staff position, sending those legs out long in front of us. And then let's take them out wide, really just as wide as you can today, into a wide-legged seated position. Now you can have the legs straight or bend in the knees. You can have props under the knees, or you can pull those toes back towards your shins, really lengthening through the legs. All righty, let's turn towards our right leg and then take a hinge towards our right toes. Noticing how that feels through the body. Great job. Come back through center and then over to the left. Inhale to come back through center. We'll bring our hands to the floor or to the prop in between our legs, and then take that fold forward into pancake pose. Beautiful job. Walk your hands back towards your hips, and then use your hands on the outside of your thighs to bring them back into that seated staff, but keep the legs slightly separated and take a few rolls of the ankles left to right. There you go. Alrighty, from here, we're gonna bring a bend into our knees and bring the soles of the feet flat on the floor. So we're in almost like a boat prep position. If you're using your straps today, you can use them for this one, or I'll give you a variation where you don't use it as well. So if you're using the strap, we're gonna wrap it around both of our feet and then take it over to the right side. So we're gonna use the strap for a strap assisted twist again. If you're not using the strap, you're simply gonna turn your torso in the same direction. Now, whether you're using the strap or not, we're gonna bring our left arm, we're either gonna hook it inside the left knee or hook it outside the right knee. And then if you're using the strap, grabbing the strap in your hands as you begin to twist. And if you are not using the strap, maybe you want to bring a hand behind you to either a floor or the prop. And that strap is just helping us assist in our twist. Give us a little pressure point that we are turning against. All right, let's go back to center. And then we're going to take the strap. So the strap handles are over towards the opposite side, letting that right arm again, either inside the right leg or outside the left leg as you begin to twist towards your left. Exhale to release. We'll unwrap the strap. And then we're going to take one last restorative twist. And for this twist, we're going to want either our bolster or maybe a pillow, or you could even take a blanket and roll it up. And we're going to lay whatever prop we're using either directly on the floor, the outside of our right hip, or if that's too deep of a bend, you may choose to add some props. You could add blocks either at the same height or one a little higher than the other to give it a little bit of an angle. We're going to take our knees, we're going to bend our feet so they're stacked to the opposite direction. And then we're going to scoot our right hip as close to our prop of choice. As we inhale, we're going to circle those arms up and overhead. And as we exhale, we're going to turn our torso, our trunk, towards that prop. Maybe the hands come to rest on either side as we fold and allow ourselves to lay down. Now turn to the side of the head so your ear is resting on your prop. Your hands can stay where they are or even circle overhead, resting on the prop as well. Now this is a restorative pose, so we're going to want to hold it for just a little bit longer. And as we do, maybe we start to get into a relaxing breathing pattern. Let's start to breathe in for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll exhale for a count of 8, so we'll lengthen it by twice as long. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll continue that breathing pattern throughout the restorative section of our practice. Breathing in for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 6. This is such a great breathing practice to release the central nervous system and allow you to come into a state of deeper relaxation. Maybe you allow your eyes to close. Maybe you bring that smile back to your face if you notice that your mind has started to wander at all. Now, just as gently or even more gently than you came down, begin to slide the hands under the shoulders to press yourself back up to a straight spine. And we'll take that on the other side. Now, again, you may want to move you, or you may just simply want to move your props to the left side. We're going to bend and stack the knees over to the right so that we can turn the torso on either side of our bolster or prop of choice here. And then as you exhale, begin to find that hinge, coming down, laying that side of the ear to the mat or to the prop, and letting yourself grow heavier with each extended 8-count exhale. We'll continue that breathing pattern, inhaling for 4, exhaling for 8, taking it at our own pace. As always, you're welcome to count and keep the mental focus of counting, or you can start to let the count slip, allowing the breath to find a natural flow, letting the exhale be twice as long as the inhale. Begin to slide the hands under the shoulders. Inhale to press yourself back up to a straight spine. And we'll end our practice by coming into a ball shape on our back. Getting there however feels right for you, hugging the knees in towards the torso. Take a few rocks from side to side or even along the spine. Feel free to take a windshield wiper or any other movement your body might need here. But we'll take this movement as our final movement before we move into our final resting pose. So if there's something that's calling to your body, feel free to slide into it real quick right now. And then as you're ready, we'll take just a few moments to set up into our final resting pose. As always, you're welcome to take corpse pose or constructive rest. Another great option, since we're playing with all the props, would be to do a beach chair pose, which similar to that reclined twist we just did, or restorative twist, you would bring one prop higher, one block higher, one block lower, set your bolster or pillow on top, scoot your hips back, and then lay at a bit of an angle like you're in a beach chair. Now you can keep your legs long in this, you could bring them to a constructive rest or even do a butterfly. But wherever you're choosing for our final resting pose, we're going to have to sustain it for just a few moments. So make sure that however you set yourself up feels comfortable, supportive, and like a position of ease. You're welcome to add any props, any blankets, sweaters, or socks to really help you find your ultimate comfort and start to relax on command. We'll begin by intentionally finding this comfortable position. Maybe we close our eyes or simply soften our gaze as we take deep breath in through our nose if it's available, and exhaling out through the mouth. We allow any tension of our day to melt away as we become fully present in this moment. We'll start to focus on our breath, taking deep inhales and long exhales. Really start to imagine your breath as a gentle wind, rustling leaves of a tree maybe. Breathing in and breathing out. Begin to feel a connection between your body and the earth beneath you. And then we'll begin to imagine that we are imagine our bodies becoming, or imagine they are a sturdy tree with roots extending deep into the ground. Maybe even picturing the autumn leaves falling gently around you, reminding you of the natural cycles of change, anchoring you, rooting you in this present moment as we begin to reflect on the beauty of the fall season, the vibrant colors of the changing leaves, and the wisdom of nature's cycles. We'll reflect on the changes we've experienced in our lives recently. And just like the leaves change their colors and let go, you too can release what no longer serves you, embracing change as a natural and beautiful part of our journey. Now bring to mind a specific change or transition in your life. Allow it to take shape in your mind's eye. As you inhale, imagine drawing the energy and courage to embrace this change up through those rooted tree roots flowing into your body. And as you exhale, release any resistance, any fear associated with this change. And imagine the wind carrying that fear and anxiety away, maybe leaving you feeling lighter, more open. You can repeat this process whenever, inhaling the energy of acceptance and exhaling resistance, allowing the leaves of your worries to fall away. As the fall season gives way to winter, we can envision ourselves entering a period of hibernation, just as nature rests and rejuvenates during the winter months. This is a time for you to go inward, to nourish your inner self, to prepare for the new growth that will come this spring. Visualizing this transition from autumn to winter, the world is quieting down. Nature is preparing to hibernate. And in the stillness of our mind, see if you can contemplate what you could let go of or set aside in your life to hibernate and recharge over the winter season. Maybe even envision yourself creating a cocoon of warmth and protection, just as the earth prepares to rest beneath a blanket of snow. Can you feel an inner peace and serenity that comes from acknowledging the need for rest, the need for rejuvenation? With your breath, again, imagine the wind blowing gently through the tree branches, carrying with it the whispers of nature's wisdom. Feeling the wind as a gentle reminder to let go of what you cannot control and to surrender to the flow of life. This gentle wind blowing around you, carrying the whispers of nature's wisdom. countless wind, which has seen countless seasons come and go, reminding us of the impermanence of all things. And we allow the wind to brush away any lingering negative thoughts, leaving you with a profound sense, peace, and acceptance. We'll start to bring our awareness back to the breath, inhaling deeply, exhaling slowly. As we return to the present moment, we allow the leaves and the wind and the trees to fade. As we take a moment to express gratitude for the changing leaves, the cycles of life, the lessons of nature, we can carry the sense of peace or acceptance or even renewal with us as we transition back into our daily lives. Giving thanks for the changing leaves, the cycles of life, and the opportunity to hibernate and rest. Maybe being grateful for the wind that carries away our worries, leaving us with that sense of peace or renewal. Now slowly begin to bring your awareness back to the physical body. See if you can take this sense of peace and renewal with you as you continue your journey through the changing seasons of life. And I'd like to offer you a moment of silence. And then we'll slowly start to awaken our bodies to return to the physical world, refreshed and inspired by the wisdom of the changing seasons. Take these last few moments as you start to wake up to reflect on this meditation and how it relates to your life. As you move forward, remember that change is a beautiful and natural part of the human experience. That finding stillness and peace within yourself can help you navigate these changes with grace and ease. If you haven't already, go ahead and allow your eyes to flutter open. And then in our own time, in our own way, we'll come up to an upright seated position facing me. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great week ahead of you, and I appreciate that you took time out of your busy schedules to come and practice your flow with me. Thank you so much.